Thank you so much, Rotimi, for joining us on the show today. And as I mentioned, it's good to see the market moving higher again as we saw it end the third quarter. On a high note, we're seeing it extend those gains today. Your thoughts on the rally we're seeing these days?
Wole, good evening. The market rally today, we saw a positive change in the index by about 0.64%. The index closing at about 26,187. And the market, for the quarter to start this way, it really brings to mind that the good times may really be here for now, because the index change is not peculiar to a certain sector. It cuts across the sector. And we saw some figures changing in some of the major stocks, such as Nestle Foods, Guinness, Cadbury, and a host of others.
I want to get your thoughts on those movements, particularly Nestle and Guinness. I mean, these are stocks that, for Nestle, for instance, has crossed 600 naira. I mean, some people are saying this is way overvalued, but some others are suggesting that there's a premium to be justified here for those type of names. Your thoughts on the fact that we're seeing more and more companies breaking the 100 naira price up band, if you like?
Well, for Nestle shares, to a lot, when you look at the earnings relative to the price that we have presently, well, you can say it's overpriced. But to many investors, they see it as a store of value. It's a stock that can't just drop in price unabatedly. What I mean by that is that the number of shares in float, that is the tradable float of that particular stock, is very little. So investors believe more strongly that a stock like this will actually can actually be used from time to time to balance their portfolio. Then for those other ones crossing the 100 naira mark, I think there is really a good reason for that. If you see, if you take a look at those ones who have been there, they have really been consistent. And these are stocks that are actually being used to balance portfolio vis-a-vis some other stocks that the prices juggle up and down from time to time. So I believe it's a good way to actually select those stocks in one's portfolio.
So you think that these prices are justified in your view?
I believe they're justified. Though when you look at it vis-a-vis the earnings, as I said earlier on, they may not be justified. But when you look at somebody who doesn't look at that particular stock alone, then and you have it in your basket or portfolio, then it's still really reasonable to hold on to that stock. Because the way I see it, there's still likelihood that Nestle Foods will go higher than the 600 naira mark.
Okay, let's move on to Transcore. Of course, it has been in the news recently. There are links to a consortium that bid for one of the power companies. We see the share price moving up now to 1.26 on high volumes today. Your thoughts on that move and what is driving that?
I think the movement today is the demand push, in the sense that investors believe that with the participation of the company, Transcore, is a way to more diversification. In the power sector, which is just coming anew, breaking loose from the grip hold of the federal government before now, everybody believes that just as it happened in the telecom market when they gave up the shares in Nitel shares in those days, that the market really received a boost, and it remains something that is very worthwhile to investors. So likewise, the power sector is a very juicy sector in the Nigerian economy. Everything drives around it. So it is a belief of investors that if you anchor yourself in this kind of stock, it being the only one that is already listed on the exchange, I believe they are not making a mistake by putting their money in such stocks for now. But the demand today was very massive, as the total volume of about 73 million shares were traded.
So you think that we could see more?
Highest volume traded today.
It's likely that the price will go higher tomorrow, in your view?
Yes, from the way the market closed today, there is every likelihood that the price will go higher.
All right, we'll see how that plays out. Let's move on to the companies that have been added to the list of companies that have qualified for market making. We're hearing 9 new companies are listed. We have the likes of First Bank, Union Bank, Nestle Nigeria that closed higher today. We have Guinness. Your thoughts on the impact? Maybe we can even first of all review of those 9 companies. How did they perform today, and what can we read into that, given the fact that they are one of the companies that were added to the market making initiative?
Well, the second tranche of the stocks that were added today, the likes of ICO, Union Bank, NASCON, Nestle, First Bank, and a host of others. If you look at them all, for them all today, there is none of them that lost in price, in share price, and majority of them closed higher than they did. Taking for instance Dangote Sugar, which is one of them, initially went up by about 5% during intra-day trading, but thereafter came down, but still leveled up with the last close of yesterday. So there is a high anticipation about the performance of those stocks for tomorrow, and investors believe that it's better they hold on to it and even make more purchase regarding what has happened to the stocks before now. But like I said in my earlier interview, maybe last week or a fortnight ago, there is still the need for investors to trade with caution in these stocks that whose share price band has moved from 5% to 10%.
But why do you say caution? Are you saying caution because there could be a sharp correction, or caution because they could be stuck in those companies because of liquidity?
No, I believe a sharp correction. If you look at FTSE,
right.
FTSE did 10% for almost for more than 3 days.
Right.
And shortly after, it started coming down. The same thing for international bureaus. It traded as high as 17 naira 20 kobo when it peaked. But right now, we saw it come down to about 12 naira, and it's gradually picking up again. So that's why I said investors need to exercise a lot of caution.
But to some extent, the volatility is a good thing for the market. We'll keep watching it.
It is really a good thing.
I will see how things play out on the NSE. Thank you so much, Rotimi, for joining us on the show today.